happening as a result of it. Every time you have 50 energy, you're going to want to call down a meal. So you'll see I have 70 right now, and that's bad. That means I'm being stupid and I'm wasting time and crystal. Every time you have 50, you want to call down the meal. The only time that's not true is when you want to call down the scanner sweep, which actually reveals invisible units and has a pretty big area. So I actually see good players using it pretty often. Here I am calling down the meal, and I'll be able to call down it again when I have another 50 down here. So you want to make sure to be on that. It's kind of a mindless thing that they just, I guess they added just to make it harder to play the game. But as long as you're kind of diligent about it and go in and move it every time you have 50 minerals, it should be okay. It's really not that bad. It always feels nice to call down the mule because it gives you so much crystal. The other ability that you can spend the energy on is this extra supplies, which I guess doubles the output of a supply depot. But that's really a big waste of money and just not worth it at all, since mules give you 250 crystal, and this extra supplies thing only gives you one extra supply depot, which is 100 crystal, so you're basically throwing away 150 crystal every time you use that ability. So we're going to have a little lull in the... Oh, look, here I am. I am attacking his base, and if he were good, I think he'd be able to very easily deal with this army, but he's not good, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this fight. And in the meantime, I'm going to be building some more units. Like you can see, I have a tech lab on here, which lets me upgrade the siege tank upgrade. Without the tech lab, you can only build Hellions from the factory, so it's not that handy. I don't see Hellions used that often, although I guess they can be useful if you know what you're doing. And so he's fighting me with his queens over here, which is pretty stupid. I'm pretty sure that you should keep the queens out of the fights, because losing them means that you lose a lot of your production. And now, it looks like he's going to start... I don't know what he's building here. I know in StarCraft 1 it was bad to shoot the cocoons because they died too slow. It looks like in StarCraft 2 it's also pretty bad to shoot the cocoons. You're better off just waiting. So I'm trying to move in, but this was actually stupid because now I'm right next to the Zerglings when they come out. I should have kept these guys further away. But it looks like the army's weak enough that I was able to kill it anyway. And I should be just keeping the pressure on. Probably since I've got him so far on the ropes right now, it would be a good idea to expand. I try shooting the cocoons for a second here, and then I realized, oh, that's pretty stupid, that's not doing anything. So then I start shooting his base. Here comes some more Zerglings, and I think he's going to... Who wins this? It looks like I'm trying to take down his base before the Zerglings get me. I don't think that's going to work. But at least I did a bunch of damage to the base. When I come back later, I'll be able to destroy it pretty easily. And you can see I have a whole nother little army coming. And since he spent all this money on the expansion, but he's not able to resource from it right now, that's pretty good for me, I think. And I'm building more siege tanks. And I found that when you double-click on these buildings and select multiple barracks or multiple factories or multiple starports or whatever at once, and then click on the unit you want, the game distributes it pretty poorly. So like, for instance, if I double-clicked on this barracks and started mashing on Marines, then it might queue up 4 Marines over here and 1 over here, or 4 over here and none over here. It doesn't seem like it evenly distributes it very well. So I've actually taken to clicking on each building individually and queuing up the units that way, which is probably pretty inefficient. What you should probably do is use the hotkeys, like set this to be Control 9 and then this to be Control 8. But I don't know, it gets pretty complicated to deal with all that when you're dealing with all this other crap. The game is so hard to play for noobs like me that, I feel like the other guy's probably clicking on it. I know I should be hotkeying it, but the other guy's probably clicking on it. I can probably get away with it. And you can see here I have 122 energy in this command center, so that means I'm sleeping. You really want to call down the meal every time you have 50, so that's me screwing up. But here, I have this little army coming in. I'm going to take down this expansion. And I don't think he can stop me. Here comes some Hydralists, but I think that's too little too late. I think I forgot to research the tank ability that lets them turn into siege tanks. So here it is finally being researched, but I should have researched that much earlier. But in the end, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think this is going to be a victory for me. Pretty soon I'm going to get that siege tank ability up. I've got more guys coming. And he doesn't seem like he can really deal with it, so I don't know if there's anything else to really say. pretty noob level game, but hopefully I gave you a little bit of insight into kind of the unknown mechanics that the other replay reviewers won't really talk about because they're so simple. And I'll just let this one play out. Oh, there is one more thing I wanted to say. Whenever you move your units, you should always attack move, which is press A on the keyboard with them selected and then click where you want them to go. That way if they run into anybody on the way, you will hit them. Your guys won't walk right past them like zombies. They'll actually see them and attack them, which is really handy. Definitely worth doing. I see a lot of people walking past my guys while I shoot at them because I was smart enough to attack move and they weren't smart enough to attack move. So that's just a little tip that's worth knowing. And when you're like kiting somebody, which is to say running away from them with the Reapers or something, it's a very useful kind of tip because you can run a couple steps and then attack move right in front of you. And your guys will turn around by themselves and attack the guys. And then you can run and attack in front of you. And that way you don't have to actually click the actual enemies that you want to shoot at, because that can be kind of hard to do in the heat of battle. This way you can just attack, press A, click on the ground, and your guys will figure out what they're doing on their own. So you can see I got my guys set up on this ramp here. I've actually, these two siege tanks are blocking the ramp right now, which could be really bad. And you want to make sure not to put your units near the siege tank blast area, because the siege damage will hit your own units and kill them. It's very frustrating to blow away your entire army with your siege tanks because you're being stupid. So anyway, that's that. I'm pretty sure he quits in the next couple seconds. Overall, pretty bad game, but I managed to be less sad than him, so that's a victory for me. And I hope this video is helpful to you guys. See you later. Sorry about that, Alex. You came in right at the middle.